Welcome back to Kathy Rain. We're in the City Library of Kassidy to find more about Deborah Sinclair. Deborah? Deborah Sinclair. I think that was her name. Yeah, Deborah Sinclair.
Celebrity author and one of the most famous Kassidy residents. She was recently stabbed to death by the Soothsayer.
Yeah.
I think I'm done with that victim for today. I should focus on my other leads for now.
No. We're doing exactly that. I thought, at least. So we can look at the bookshelves, a statue bust.
Some local hero from the Civil War, I think? Well, either that or Beethoven. That guy gets around.
Okay. We cannot look at the fire extinguisher. But there's a computer we can use.
If I need a book, I should use the computer.
Yeah. And that's all she does. We cannot get to the upstairs. A printer. Oh, we can print. What's in the calendar?
Okay, let's see here. It would take ages to look through all the microfilm since the killings began. So maybe I can figure out on what date the murder prior to Deborah's occurred. Hopefully I can deduce the date of the previous murder from the articles I picked up at the office. When I have a good date written down, I can view the corresponding microfilm and look for useful information.
Ah, cool. I think she was killed at the 8th of May.
Alright, I've got a date written down. I can use that to find the corresponding microfilm.
Wait, what? I'm selecting one, write it down, and then I search for the microfilm. Okay, and it changes. Okay, cool. So we have May. And I think she was killed on 8th. And maybe in the article it was said how many days earlier the other occurred. Yeah, on May 8th. At age 49, the one and only Deborah Sinclair was tragically taken from her. She was stabbed to death on May 8th. The chilling signature mirror left on the scene made it clear that she had become yet another Soothsayer victim. There's no sign of break-in, crime. Rose Taylor, also a middle-aged woman, stabbed to death in her home. But when? The original casualty. So she was the first. This makes 5. In 3 months. And the lack of results on the case is starting to anger me. Mayor Adams gave the following statement on May 11th. The first... So... all I read here... is that... there's no other hint. Is there plumbing? Virgin Hope. Dog strike. So within 3 months, prior to May 8th, 5 murders happened. But we have no clue. We have no clue on what day he committed the murders. Rose Taylor. Rose Taylor. Do we know anything about Rose Taylor?
Kassidy's first and only serial killer. The only thing standing between me and a massive payday.
Get 4th victim articles.
I should try to figure out when the previous...
Okay, that's just that. So... if we take February 8th... no. March 8th as the starting point. We could... that's too much effort though. I think we're missing crucial information, right?
Anything I print should appear here. I think that includes printouts from that microfilm viewer at the end of the hall.
That one, yeah. These are the shelves. And I think I can just look at everything?
No.
Okay.
I can't waste time by checking every date. I should look for the date of the previous murder in the sequence before I browse the microfilms.
So I can only look at the microfilms of the date I note down. Okay.
Some antique world map centered on the US. 1800s, maybe? Microfilms containing images of scanned newspapers. They're organized by calendar date.
Okay. We cannot randomly select some. Yeah, let's check the computer. Maybe we find more articles. Search for book title or author surname. Ah, we wanted to look for that one book. Unbound? We found it. Yeah, Deborah Sinclair, Stephen Collins. On 10th of April in 1996, status unavailable. Synthesis. Deborah Sinclair's long-awaited autobiography outlines the author's tumultuous life and rise to worldwide prominence. The book takes the form of a series of interviews by Sinclair's longtime friend and colleague Stephen Collins. Okay. Interesting. So, Stephen Collins. Do we write him down? Maybe we can ask him. No. Okay. Let's search for her father or for Deborah Sinclair and the other books. Afflicted. That was written or published in 1991. Kiona Thunderheat, a Native American tribeswoman and daughter of the chief, is forced to hunt down and kill her own father after he becomes possessed by a Wendigo and threatens their whole village. That's cool. 1995. A distant, lonely couple falls in love after meeting a vivid shared dream. The pair becomes obsessed with reuniting in the real world, whilst opposed at every turn by Mr. Clock, a mysterious and ruthless adversary. Ooh. Evermore, 1980. Hannah's dating life has been a whirlwind of charm and mystery. Every man she meets seems perfect, yet something is strangely askew. Beneath her different faces and personalities, there's an inexplicable familiarity that she can't seem to shake. As Hannah tries to piece together these patterns, she begins to question not only her choices, but the very nature of the men drawn to her. So we have two rather mysterious books. 78. For the sake of mental clarity, David Walker leaves a successful business behind to retreat to a remote forest cabin. At first, the solitude is healing, but soon strange instincts take hold. It is as if David's mind is being reshaped by something primal and deeply unfamiliar. Are these sensations the echoes of an ancestral memory, the onset of madness, or the influence of an unseen force? As the line between reality and delusion blurs, David starts to feel an undeniable magnetic pull to the local caves. The truths he uncovers there could lead him to a darkness older than humanity itself. Ooh. Stage Fright. Jenny Payne 1. In 85. Ah, it's a series. Okay. Jenny Payne, a traveling magician and illusionist, solves crimes around America using deduction and trickery. But there's... Ah, okay, no, there's the second one. But that was 85. In January. Theater of the Absurd. 89. Ah, okay, here. The The second chapter in Jenny Payne's saga brings her to Europe to investigate her family's mysterious and dark past. And part 3, the final curtain, 93. The stakes are higher than ever, with Jenny Payne locked up in jail and framed for murder. Can she escape, clear her name, and stop the murderers from killing again? Wait, did she inspire these murders to happen? No, right? Nah. Storm Chaser. 87. Storm Chaser is an epic tale of a Native American warrior who sets out on a great quest to save his tribe from American settlers in the 1800s. Thorns of the Wild, 83. Three estranged friends are compelled to reunite their hometown to confront the haunting memories of their childhood. Soon, questions arise. Was the old gardener lady, called Nettles, truly a witch? And what actually happened when the fourth member of their group, 8-year-old Johnny P., mysteriously disappeared? The truth is darker than any of them can imagine, and they will all come to learn the true reason why they were summoned there. They are compelled to reunite. But there is a child with them. 8-year-old, yeah. Okay. And then Unbound. Interesting. Let's search for her dead. It was Sebastian. Willis. Sinclair. Saltpeter. He wrote one book in 63. It's also unavailable. Does this library have any books? At the end of World War II, Captain Ellis Harrow is sent to oversee Saltpeter Works, a remote munition factory in the Scottish Highlands. Amid tense murmurs of sabotage and growing mistrust among the workers, a deadly explosion exposes a conspiracy that threatens not only the factory, but the entire Allied war effort. Saltpeter is an atmospheric thriller exploring loyalty, betrayal, and the price of survival in a world at war. Okay, no hint in there either. And that is all we can look for. Huh. We gained nothing out of that. Because all the books are gone. Now, are we really, microfilm viewer, supposed to just guess dates? And we don't even know if the murderer had a pattern, right? So, he killed at May 8th. And there are 5 murders in 3 months. Do we take it literally that it's after the 8th of March? Maybe it's on holidays? What was May 8th? A Friday. Maybe he only killed on Fridays? Let's try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's more than 5 Fridays. Maybe he kills on tax day. I mean, I would do though. If I would ever kill, I would kill on tax day.
No.
Okay. Mother's Day. 5th of May. What's that got to do with anything?
Ah, looks like there are no microfilms at all for the month of May. I guess that makes sense. It's the current month, and they probably scan the papers on a monthly rolling basis.
Oh, okay.
Well, not a biggie. I already checked the more recent papers back in the office for Soothsayer coverage, so I should focus on the earlier months here.
Okay, that's some information we can work with. Is there... Oh, I'm stupid! There's more! Goodness gracious, I didn't see that. My microphone arm always covers this little corner here of the screen a bit. I mean, I can see it through the gaps, but still, I often miss things that are down at the corner here because of my microphone stand. So I really didn't see that error. Oh man, that's so stupid. Oh, that helps. May 9th, so a day after the murder. Soothsayer viciously murders Deborah Sinclair. The famous writer's life has met an abrupt end. What's that? Some concerns. A massive West Side power outage last night raised questions about Kassidy's aging electrical infrastructure and the urgent need for modernization investment. Yeah. But now there's no arrow no more. Sinclair with his signature Uponti? What's a Uponti? Yoponti? Chopin? No, it's a Yopon. I have no idea what kind of tea that is. We are devastated to report that the 5th victim of the Soothsayer was none other than acclaimed author Deborah Sinclair, one of the most recognized faces of Kassidy. Loyal readers of Sinclair may realize that the previous victim, Jane Doe, was slain on the publication anniversary of Storm Chaser, one of Sinclair's classic novels. A simple coincidence, or do these murders have a deeper connection to the author? The murder occurred in Sinclair's famous writer's retreat near the border of the national park. The National Park Service, NPS, was first on the site and is currently in control of the crime scene. As the NPS lacks the necessary training and resources to conduct murder investigations, we should expect that the crime scene will soon be handed over to the Soothsayer Task Force at the KPD. For now, the body has been transported to a city morgue, awaiting clearance for a pathological examination. Chief Ranger Samuel Walker had the following comment: "We are still establishing all of the facts surrounding this crime. Please be patient. We all want to do right by Deborah." Deborah Sinclair was a longtime friend of the Gazette and led a prolific life with more than 30 novels published during her lifetime. On this sad day, we mourn the loss of a cultural icon, and we pray that her death will be the last at the hands of the vile Soothsayer. Dang. Turbo dealer, sports car specialists. We should call all these guys. Historic statue vandalized. The iconic statue of Founders Square was defaced last night with anarchist propaganda sprayed across its base. Authorities are investigating a worrying link to the ever-growing sprawl, Kassidy's equivalent of Los Angeles' famous Skid Row. That's a bit funny though. Okay, we got the hint we needed. Dang, but that's it, right? There were only 2 articles, yeah. Oh man. I kinda have to look more in that corner. Okay, Storm Chaser. I don't remember. Ah, it's American. 25th of April. Is that a full moon? No. We're getting somewhere.
Yeah, this date should be good. I'll search through a week or so of microfilm, starting from the date I've written down. Hopefully I can find some useful information on the previous victim. Yes, there we go. I'll have these printed.
Ah, okay, she does it on her own. Phew!
All right, rinse and repeat. I should try to determine the previous microfilm date based on the information in these new pages. That way I can make my way back from article to article, victim to victim, until I get all the way to the first murder. Let's see here.
Phew, okay. These are also several pages. The Kassidy Sun, your source of weekly news. Now it's April 29th in 1998. Soothsayer burns Jane Doe alive. Oh, goodness gracious. The infamous Soothsayer has cranked up the heat on his killing spree, as the last victim, a young woman in her early 20s, was determined to have been brutally burned alive on Constance Hill. The death occurred on the night of April 25th. Due to the state of the remains, Jane Doe's identity has been difficult to ascertain. Despite indications of dental work on the corpse, there were no matching dental records anywhere in the city, leading police to believe that the woman was not local. The lack of struggle could mean that the victim was incapacitated, but the condition of the body gives little clarity on that matter. Picking a public site like this was a risky proposition for the Soothsayer, but he may have banked on the fact that distant witnesses would assume that the fire came from the nearby fire pit. Mayor Adams offered his comment. As unpleasant as it is, I must ask you to be patient. Let Ed, Kassidy Chief of Police Edgar Mitch Brown, and his team do their job. KBD has my full confidence in this matter, and City Hall stands vigilant to assist in any way we can. For our extensive coverage of the previous victim, Deacon Townsend, see issue number 842. St. Andrew's Church Easter tragedy. St. Andrew's Church's Easter concert ended horrifically when conductor Martin Schultz suffered a fatal heart attack. The concert, a cherished tradition, was attended by many who are now mourning Schultz's untimely passing. The church plans to hold a memorial service in his honor. And dirt race extravaganza imminent. The annual Kassidy Death Rally, soon to set take place in various locations around the greater Kassidy area, drawing in adrenaline junkies from all around the state. Featuring rugged terrain and challenging courses, the event promises an exhilarating experience for racers and spectators alike. Local businesses are gearing up for the influx of visitors. Safety measures are being rigorously implemented to ensure an exciting yet secure racing experience for all. The event takes place over the course of 3 days, starting on 1st of May. With you every step of the way. Funeral services, Hamilton. What is the... okay, they're all together. Now, Soothsayer strikes again. Task force established. Renovation of the century-old West End Bridge is finally complete. 5 years in the making, the project enhances safety while preserving the historic character of the iconic landmark. Oh, they renovated the bridge? That's cool. So, Jane Doe, Edgar Mitchell Brown, on April 26th, a day after the murder. The Soothsayer has claimed a fourth victim, an unidentified woman, estimated to have been 18 years old. Her charred remains were found on the outskirts of Kassidy, near the overlook at Constance Hill. The cause of death is yet to be determined. The Soothsayer victims do not seem to share any obvious similarities in terms of gender, age, occupation, or social class, and the killing methods, locations, and disposal of the bodies are all different. However, the killings have all occurred within the greater Kassidy area over a period of 3 months, which would indicate that the Soothsayer is somewhat local to the area. In related news, the Kassidy Chief of Police has recently announced that the investigation of these killings will be taken over by the newly created Soothsayer Task Force. Edgar Mitchell Brown said the following during a press conference on April 26th. As of May 1st, the so-called Soothsayer slayings will be investigated by a dedicated task force of 8 senior detectives, handpicked from various divisions at the Kassidy Police Department. Rest assured that this elite group has every resource at their disposal. When asked whether or not the FBI would be involved, Mitchell Brown replied, "There's no federal jurisdiction in this case. I have no further comment." We'll take it. The Gazette has frequently criticized the Kassidy Police Department for their errors in the past, but credit where credit is due. This is a step in the right direction. Okay. Tension at town hall meeting over amusement park revival. The town hall meeting discussing the revival of the Lone Star Amusement Park took an unexpected turn when a father of one of the fatal victims of the infamous 1992 accident attempted to storm the stage. Luckily, police quickly handled the situation. Despite this incident, the overall sentiment at the meeting was positive, with many attendees expressing support for the park's modernization and commitment to enhance safety standards. The mayor pledged to consider all feedback, emphasizing the importance of reconciling the park's painful past with a hopeful future. Dang, there's a lot of going on.
I know where Constance Hill is, but that's a fair distance from the city. Better save it for tomorrow. For now, I'll put Jane Doe on hold and see what I can find about the previous murder victim.
New location added, awesome. Okay. We know the number of the Gazette, but not the date, right? Can I just...
Microfilms containing images...
So wait, is it daily? Then we can deduct it. Weekly news. And this is number 845. And we are looking for 842. And it's on a Wednesday. So we go back from April 29th. April 29th was 5432.
Yes, this should be the right date. Let's see here. Okay, let's have a look.
Okay, that's the issues 842. Soothsayer stages suicide of prolific deacon. The deacon, yeah. We're set to report that the third member of our community has been taken out by the so-called Soothsayer, who appears to be Kassidy's first serial killer. The victim's name was Benedict Townsend, age 51. Our sources say that his death occurred on April 3rd, and that Townsend was likely murdered in a staged suicide by hanging. Townsend served as a deacon at the King of Kings Catholic Church, an old congregation dating back to the early 1900s. He was a beloved figure in the community, well known for his voluntary work. Reverend Hugh Winters, the pastor of King of Kings, had the following to say: "My heart aches for Ben's soul and everything he had left to give to the world, but I take some comfort in the fact that he's with the Lord now. And for the person or persons who did this to my friend, know that there will be a reckoning. Murder is a sin most vile, and God sees all." King of Kings remains open as the crime occurred in the adjacent rectory building. However, the rectory will remain under lock and key until properly consecrated. Well, there's so much. Need wash now? We buy, we sell, we trade. Okay. Deborah Sinclair. Book set for Hollywood adaptation. Ooh. Kassidy's own author, Deborah Sinclair, is making waves as her best-selling novel Thorns of the Wild is slated for a movie adaptation. Sinclair made the following statement: "It's about time. Hollywood hasn't been quick to recognize the cinematic potential of my work, and I sincerely hope this marks the beginning of a great collaboration. And to my fans out there, rest assured that I will retain full creative control. I won't let anyone ruin my babies." King's Benz. And Chief of Police phones hacked. Oh! Unidentified phone hackers, so-called freakers, hijacked the phone line and prank called the Chief of Police last week, shouting obscenities and sexual innuendos. According to a statement by the chief, their motive appears to be retaliation for the police raid on the Cyber Shack internet cafe last month. That's funny. Wade Industries opens new factory amid controversy. Wade Industries' new factory complex in the city has opened, promising thousands of jobs. However, the company's anti-union stance has sparked criticism. Yeah. Rumors of backroom deals quieting the unions are rife, leading to a divided public opinion. While many welcome the economic boost, others question the long-term implications for workers' rights and the integrity of the deal-making forces. Yeah. That's bad. Debate over reviving the Lone Star. The Lone Star, once popular Western-themed amusement park built on an old mining site in the 70s, may be revived and modernized. We read that in the other issue. The facility was closed in 1994 after a series of accidents and ensuing lawsuits. But following a change of ownership, there are now tentative plans to resurrect the facility. City Hall has been aggressively investigating the entertainment sector as part of a wider strategy to promote Kassidy as a cultural hub, and this initiative would seem to align with that. Proponents argue that the Lone Star could boost tourism and the local economy, while critics raise concerns about safety and the preservation of the site's historical value. Major Adams had the following comment: "While we honor the park's past, including its tragedies, we see an opportunity to create a safe, modern attraction that respects our history. City Hall has declared that an open town hall meeting dedicated to this topic will be held later this month." Yeah, and it did. And the father stormed it. Soothsayer linked to 3 murders, serial killer on the loose, 3 killings in 2 months, connected by foreboding signature. Deacon Benedict Townsend, age 51, was found dead early on April 4th in the rectory of the King of Kings Catholic Church. The cause of death was determined to be hanging, but suicide has been ruled out by the KPD. An anonymous police source had the following to say: "Somebody else was involved. The positioning of the body and other logistics don't add up if he was alone." This scenario is eerily similar to that of Eric Halloway, the postman who met his demise on that ominous full moon night last month. So in March, full moon. His death was initially treated as a suicide, but later revised to homicide. Now the Gazette brings you to the exclusive scoop. Both of these killings, as well as the brutal stabbing of nurse Rose Taylor back in February, are linked by an object left at the scene, a shattered obsidian mirror, colloquially referred to as scrying mirror. These mirrors have been used since ancient times to see the future or communicate with the spirit world. Does the soothsayer responsible for these murders have a religious motive? Now we know why he's called the soothsayer. Our source continues: "It's a signature. This killer is no hag. He hasn't left any other forensic evidence that can be tracked back to him, so the murder has to be deliberate." Townsend was a well-liked figure in the community, known for his charity work and a long-time member of the church. Kassidy Chief of Police Edgar Mitchell Brown gave the following comment: "We're not classifying these homicides as serial offenses at this time, but trust that we have our finest on the case." We urge our readers to demand that Mitchell Brown recognizes that the citizens of Kassidy have been cursed with our first serial killer in recorded history. Yeah, I mean, it did turn out like that. Fringilla, a play born in the heart of our city, has captured the nation's attention. After a series of sold-out shows and rave reviews, the production is now set to tour nationally. Written by playwright Cassandra Beckett and set against the backdrop of Kassidy's rich history, the play's blend of drama, humor, and poignant storytelling has struck a chord with audiences. Its success is a testament to the city's thriving art scene. The national tour begins in early May and is poised to bring a piece of Kassidy's cultural spirit to theaters across the country, showcasing the talent and creativity flourishing in our community. The king bats again. Okay, cool. Now we have the other date. Benedict Townsend. Scrying Mirrors. And King of Kings.
Okay, I'll make sure to look into that church later and maybe find the address. For now, let's move on to victim number 2.
Okay, March full moon. March full moon. 27th, it's a Friday too.
I'm on the right track with this date, but I think I've got the full moon and the new moon confused.
Oh. Dang it. Sorry, it's the 12th, it's not a Friday. Of
Yes,
course.
this should be the right date. Let's see here.
Prominent suicide morphs into homicide. Initially reported as a suicide, the death of Eric Holloway on March 12th has been officially classified by KPD as a homicide. Since this public death occurred, multiple reliable witnesses have come forward claiming that the victim was pushed off the roof of a building at 4th Verdun Street. However, there are no detailed descriptions of the perpetrator, likely due to the limited illumination of the roof area at night. Holloway led a quiet and simple life, working as a mailman for the city, and is said to have been well liked by his peers. However, there are unverified reports of mental health problems related to the death of his fiancée last year. Police sources told us that there are links to the brutal motel stabbing of nurse Rose Taylor on Statehood Day, but we were reluctant to share further details of an ongoing investigations. Opens a restaurant. Celebrity chef Marco Durand recently unveiled Fishin' on 5th, a new restaurant blending Asian and Western cuisines, promising an exciting and modern culinary experience. The restaurant is planning a grand opening on April 20th, but you may struggle to find a table. Durand has announced that they are booked in full until June. Police raid Cybershack. Ah, there's the raid. The Kassidy Police Department has conducted a raid on the popular Cybershack internet cafe in connection with the traffic light hacking incident that occurred last month. The operation, part of an ongoing investigation into the sophisticated cyber attack that caused citywide traffic chaos, led to the seizure of several computers and electronic devices. Authorities have not released details on specific suspects, but confirmed that the raid was a significant step in the case. Symphony on the Streets, a creative protest for classical arts. In a unique display of dissent, supporters of classical arts in Kassidy orchestrated a Symphony in the Streets protest. Musicians, dancers, and actors from various classical disciplines performed impromptu pieces in key locations, transforming sidewalks and public squares into stages. The harmonious yet powerful act was designed to draw attention in the need for balanced support of classical arts. Passers-by were treated to scenes from Shakespearean plays, excerpts from famous ballets, and live classical music performances. Eleanor Vincent, a renowned local conductor and one of the event's masterminds, shared her thoughts. Our goal was to show the beauty and relevance of classical arts in the same spaces largely dominated by modern art today. The support from the public has been overwhelming, so I believe we have succeeded. The event, both protest and celebration of classical arts, served as a reminder of the genre's enduring impact on the city's cultural identity. The Gazette has reached out to Mayor Adams for comment. Eric, grim fall under the full moon. On Thursday, March 12th, at roughly 8 p.m., a 32-year-old man leaped from the roof of a 4-story apartment building in Verdun Street, instantly killing himself on the pavement below, making a grisly spectacle for neighbors and bystanders alike. Friends and neighbors claim that the victim had struggled with the death of his girlfriend, but no suicide note has been recovered. Events like this reiterate that mental health and grief counseling should be a national concern, with more resources available for vulnerable people in crisis. If you or anyone you know is having suicidal thoughts, you can reach the National Suicide Hotline at 555-922-922, available 24/7. That's that. Some scandal. The bystander Daniel Baxter was forced to resign amidst fraud allegations. Accused of misappropriating university funds, Baxter faces criminal charges. Wait Empire Harris takes over Wait Industries. To the surprise of many, Erica Wade, heiress of the billionaire Wade family, was recently appointed as the new CEO of Wade Industries. Erica replaced her father, Charles Wade, after an impressive tenure in the role spanning over 3 decades. It's Charles Wade from the first part. Charles Wade had been expected to step down for a long time due to persistent rumors of him suffering from late-stage Alzheimer's disease. However, the choice of Erica Wade is unconventional, primarily due to her lack of management experience. One of Erica's first acts as CEO was to conduct a dramatic reshuffling of the company's senior management. Our sources tell us that the Chief Operating Officer and Chief Financial Officer have been replaced with potentially more to come. In a recent press release, Erica defended her actions as necessary for the company's future. Changes in leadership are essential to drive Wade Industries towards innovative and sustainable growth, she stated. We are aligning our team to better meet the challenges of our dynamic industry in these turbulent times. Despite her reassurances, these high-profile changes have only added to the uncertainty surrounding the company's directions. Stakeholders are now watching closely to see how these strategic moves will impact the company's performance and whether Erica can navigate Wade Industries through this period of upheaval and restore confidence among investors and staff. Sources close to the matter suggest a more sinister course of events. Never once in his decades as CEO had Charles ever considered her, Erica Wade, to be a serious candidate for management. This is a hostile takeover, a senior employee who wished to remain anonymous and commented. At market close yesterday, NASDHQ share prices for Wade Industries V&D dropped 18 points, making one of the most significant single-day declines in the company's history. Rare birds spotted. Birdwatchers and ornithologists alike are flocking to City Park after a rare crimson-winged finch was spotted, drawing attention to the local biodiversity. The species was thought to be entirely extinct in the US, making this sighting an extraordinary historical event. Oh, this is truly extraordinary. Okay.
Eric's address isn't too far away, but I should learn all I can here before I visit any of the crime scenes.
Oh, sorry. What was that? I clicked it away. Now, Statehood Day. On February 5th.
Yes, this should be the right date. Let's see here.
Satanist responsible for motel slaughter? A brutal stabbing occurred at the Azure Sky Motel on February 5th, and our sources now say that there is an occult angle to the killing, with some sort of artifact left on the scene. The husband of the victim was briefly detained but released a day later. Law enforcement claims that he remains a person of interest, however, and confirmed that the cause of death was multiple stab wounds on the chest. What else do we have? After 80 years, Kassidy's beloved Patterson Bakery has closed, ending an era. The bakery was known for its traditional recipes and community presence. KPD adds new K9 unit. The Kassidy Police Department has bolstered its crime-fighting efforts with an expansion of its K9 unit. The new team includes dogs trained in narcotics detection, tracking, and public order tasks. These furry companions have become invaluable partners in our law enforcement endeavors, said Sergeant Maria Gonzalez, head of the K9 unit. The department demonstrated the new team's capabilities in a public event, highlighting their advanced training and strong bond with their handlers to an overall positive public reception. Kassidy's art funding conundrum. Classical versus modern. And that's why they staged a month later or so that public music event. A debate is intensifying over the allocation of city funds to the arts, with a growing conflict between supporters of classical arts and advocates for modern art forms. City Hall's recent push to support burgeoning street art movements, including graffiti and other experimental art forms, has traditionalists up in arms, arguing that this shift neglects the classical arts. Mayor Adams, a vocal supporter of the new initiative, stated, It's vital that we embrace and nurture the diverse artistic expressions of our youth. Their creativity is the lifeblood of Kassidy's future as a central hub. I mean, he's right. However, this approach has not been without controversy. Elizabeth Hoffman, director of the Kassidy City Symphony Orchestra, expressed her concerns. While innovation in art cannot be understated, we shouldn't abandon our rich heritage in classical arts. These traditions are a cornerstone of our cultural identity. The debate has sparked a broader conversation about the evolving nature of art and its place in society. Jackson Miller, a local street artist, argues art is constantly evolving. The city's support for modern art forms reflects the changing dynamics of our community. On the other side, patrons of the classical arts feel marginalized. It's disheartening to see years of tradition being overshadowed, noted Jack Draw, a local ballet instructor. Classical arts and modern expressions can coexist, but not if one is favored over the other. This ongoing debate highlights the challenges cities face in balancing the support for arts. As Kassidy navigates these cultural crossroads, the decisions made today will likely shape its artistic landscape for generations to come. Union leader ousted amid mafia allegations. Frank Tivelli, the long-standing leader of Kassidy Industrial Workers Union, was ousted following allegations of ties to organized crime. Accusations of leaders' involvement with the mafia surfaced in a recent investigation, leading to an unanimous vote for removal by the union board. The scandal has rocked the union community, with members calling for transparency and reform. Pivotal in representing workers' rights face a crucial period of restructuring and regaining public trust. Oh. Hacker disrupts traffic system, here it is. On February 8th, a sophisticated cyber attack disabled hundreds of traffic lights for several hours, leading to widespread chaos and significant property damage around downtown Kassidy. Together with the help of experts at Kassidy City University, authorities are now investigating the breach, evaluating a range of cybersecurity measures for critical urban infrastructure. There are rules for cars without the lights on, at least where I live. And then, police comes in and rules by hand. That shouldn't be a problem. I thought they changed the lights to show false lights, but just shutting them off shouldn't be such a horrific problem. If you train your drivers properly, that is. Model murder mortifies management. View from outside the Azure Sky Motel. On February 7th, Rose Amanda Taylor, age 47, was found dead by Robert Tippett, the owner of the Azure Sky Motel. Taylor had been stabbed to death by an unknown perpetrator. Blood everywhere, like a goddamn butcher room, Tippett says, wide-eyed, and continues to emphasize that this city is going to hell. You go ahead and print that. Neighbors report hearing a commotion from the room, but that was apparently a regular occurrence, so no one went to investigate. Taylor is survived by her husband and 2 children, who have declined a request to be interviewed. The husband was briefly detained, but is no longer considered a suspect. If you have any information about the murder of Rose Taylor, please contact the Kassidy Police Department 555-583-175, but there's no mention of a murder here. Maybe they thought of nothing with the first murder. The Dreamers Express rolled out. The Dreamers Express is off to a resounding start, with tickets completely sold out for the next 2 months. This unique bus service connecting Kassidy to Los Angeles is the brainchild of Julie Henderson, former actress turned entrepreneur. Her vision: to create a conduit for Kassidy's burgeoning artistic talent to reach the broader stages of LA. The journey is as important as the destination, Henderson asserts. Each bus, painted with murals depicting scenes from Kassidy's rich cultural tapestry, is a mobile canvas. Inside, passengers find a mini gallery of local art and a collection of writings by Kassidy's poets and authors. Henderson's inspiration came from her own experiences. I made the trip to LA years ago, full of dreams. It's a pilgrimage for many here, she reflects. The route she designed includes stops at historical landmarks and creative hotspots, aiming to fuel inspiration. Despite the hard truths of the entertainment industry, Henderson believes in the power of the journey. It's about experiencing life, embracing failure and success alike. Our city's history of resilience is our greatest teacher. For tickets, either visit the downtown Kassidy bus station, located on 5th and Main, or make a phone reservation at 555164164. That's an awesome idea. Deborah Sinclair, book signing, big success. Deborah Sinclair saw a massive turnout at her recent book signing event, where fans lined up for hours to get a few brief moments with popular author. And it was their last. Sinclair's recent novel, Midnight and Me, has captured the hearts of readers nationwide, and the event held at Kassidy's legendary bookstore, Pages and Tales, not only highlighted Sinclair's rising popularity, but underscored the city's growing literary scene. Oh, that's so cool. Man, that was an hour of reading newspapers. The motel. Awesome.
All right, that should be everything on the microfilms. I think I'll continue to focus on gathering information today and then head to each of the murder sites tomorrow.
Okay. Hint, if you need help with what to do next, try opening your notebook. Yeah, I know. But, man, I'm exhausted of reading all those newspapers, but we found so much. So I think we head home real quick, end the day, and then I'll end the episode. Yeah, they're grayed out. We cannot get there. Okay, so let's end it here. And, let's go to bed. Doesn't matter. Let's pet
Who's
the cat.
my perfect little killer? That's my vicious girl.
Aw, I love Mildred.
I wish, but if I don't shape up and get some work done, I'm gonna end up sleeping somewhere way less comfortable.
Oh! Okay, we need to read up on the... Oh, then I end the episode. We do that in the next one. Thank you so much for watching it. Have a wonderful and adventurous day and goodbye.